Okay, well, good morning everyone. It may not be morning when this video goes up, I don't know. But welcome back to pudding videos. It's been a few months, I'm sorry. For anyone who isn't watching this in the future, who's been waiting for these videos, I'm sorry. Basically, personal reasons I stopped filming. I find these videos kind of tricky in that I feel pretty exposed. I'm sort of showing the stuff that I'm learning with him as well as things that I know really well. And with winter coming on and many other things, struggled to kind of keep up with the videos. They do take quite a bit of energy and effort, so I hope you enjoy that we're back. I have missed doing them as well. As much as they are tricky, I really like watching them back and learning from them as well. But I'm hoping to keep this up. We haven't stopped riding, me and Pudding. For anyone who's been keeping up on our Facebook page, you'll know Pudding and I have been to see Tic Maynard. We've been doing quite a lot of jumping, and we've also had a légèreté clinic lessons with Catherine Marshall. So we've got a big jump with several months off, or I think 3 maybe months where we haven't been doing anything. We're back, and hopefully I can show you some cool stuff that we've been working on since the last set of videos. There are a few videos that we took that were not very good that I haven't shared yet, and I may share them at a later date, of the in-between from then till now. I'm even putting him to sleep with this talk, so I need to move on. Come on, kiddo, let's do our groundwork. I know. It's a hard life, isn't it, Pud? So one of the things Pudding's had a trouble with from the beginning is flappy bags, especially around his ears. So every chance I get, I do a little bit of groundwork with this, and you can see he still gets a little tense with it, but it's much improved, particularly up around here, this being the place he finds it the most difficult. You can see still a little jumpy there. Good boy, Pud. If you look very closely at his clip, you'll actually be able to see we were not able to clip right by his ear, so we haven't completely got through this behaviour yet. I'm doing a little bit of work on that as well, just vibrating things around his ears, buzzing, phones and things like that, but his clip's a little off. Not by much, you have to look really close, but yeah, we had to sort of say that he's not prepared enough for that and move on. That's pretty good, Pud. That's pretty good. So you see we've got a few interesting jumps set out for our ridden work. They're nothing too scary for Pudding, they're quite scary for me still. Hey? These are meaty enough, aren't they? We've got these little ones here which are a warm-up, once we've done a proper warm-up ridden. And then we have some 90s set up for our main course, if you like. The thing we're working on in our jumping is bending lines. So these jumps are set up to have just a few strides in between each little jump and the large jump, but they can also be ridden individually. There's enough space around them and enough of a straight line between each one to just come into that jump on its own. So we actually haven't done jumping for a little while. I don't know where the camera's gone. Tell me that camera needs resetting, Pud. No, it's coming back. We actually haven't done jumping for a little while, at least not at this height. We've been doing grids more recently, but I figured today's as good a day as any to get back into jumping. We certainly jump a lot bigger than this now. We have done, so there's no reason not to. He's fit enough. But the last week or so, we've just finished our dressage lesson, haven't we? So we've been working more on the dressage than we have the jumping. And the reason I'm saying that is because I may jump the little ones and decide we're not forward enough, we're not energetic enough to do the big ones. And if that's the case, it's fine, you know. I've set them up because they're sort of the height we're working on. But yes, you will get a sweetie for it, little monster. You're a little monster, aren't you? But yeah, I've sort of set up a jump course that is within our ability. We may have an off day, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Today we might go, ooh, you know, that's a bit much for today. I don't know. I also might just have to eat those words and jump loads of it. Who knows? Pudding, I've completely forgotten to grab my stick. I've only just realised. That's rather annoying. Go get a stick. Catch one of the girls maybe. Grab us a stick. That's frustrating, isn't it? It's very frustrating. I don't ever advise you do this. Ever. It's very dangerous and stupid. It's only because I have such a good pony that I'm even willing to think about doing it. But don't step on your reins while I'm gone. Thanks, Maddie. Keeping an eye on the little monster.
What a run, rabbit.
You wild beast, aren't you? Oh, bless him. Right. Okay. So, yeah, don't ever do that. It's very bad. Do as I say, not as I do, obviously, Pudding. Right? That is the face of an unimpressed pony. I'm sorry, okay? We've got to get going though, because you're clipped and it's cold today. Right. Ooh. Well, if I fall off the mounting block, I think that says that I'm not a worthy rider. Although I'm pretty sure we've all done it at least once. Okay. And then we wonder why you guys sometimes don't want us on your back. Huh? Oh, hi, Pud. Pud. Oh, there we go. Today's also going to be interesting for me in Pudding. Yeah, you've had so many sweeties. Terrible. Today's also going to be interesting for me in Pudding because he's seen osteopath Gavin Schofield yesterday, and I have not ridden him since then. So it'll be interesting on that front too. Now, one thing I've been doing a lot, because I'm terrible at this, is I set my watch for 10 minutes and we walk. I am terrible for being like, we'll just get on and do stuff. And of course that's really not a good training method. So set the timer for 10 minutes and we do 10 minutes of walking. But not just any walking, I want to work on head position more than anything. Asking him to walk properly, using the base of his neck more. Good boy. And this is an area that I am not proficient in. This is an area where I'm learning. So if you see anything directly wrong, know that I'm learning, and you're probably right, it probably is wrong. Nice inside rein loose, outside rein tight though, lovely flexion. Pole is the highest point, even steps, consistent walk. The things we're looking for. Probably the best description I've had of this is that Pudding often, it looks like there is an arrow pointing down here, and I want it to look like there's an arrow pointing up. As I lift him up, I'm less worried about his poll coming in, and I'm more interested in this base of the neck lifting and being able to softly take his neck one way or the other. Ooh, very nice put. And extend your walk, extend your neck. But our goal is not to drop our head all the way to the floor. Our goal is to lower a little, and without losing that nice rhythm, simply cover more ground by taking longer steps, but within our goal being that the rhythm of the walk doesn't change. This is mind-blowing to me, basically. I realise how complicated you can make things for horses. And of course it's so good for them. It's so good for them to learn to control their walk. My goal here is to take shorter steps, but with the same rhythm, the feet bending longer in the air, the head as high as it can go. Very nice put. With a slight bend now, I'm going to hold that lateral flexion, soft inside, tight outside rein, delicate walk, and I'm going to pick up that 10-meter circle that we've set with that bend, keeping an elegant walk. Gorgeous, kiddo. Come straight, keeping our head up, 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 don't drop it. Good boy. Slight lateral bend, head up, don't drop it, head up, don't drop it, head up, don't drop it. Good. Hold it yourself. I'm not going to hold your head up for you. Very nice. Hold the slight bend on the line here. Don't drop it. I know it's hard. This is a long one for you. Good. Slight bend. Good. Good. And lengthen. Good boy. Woof. Woof. He's such a good boy. I don't know if that looked as good as it felt, and this is where I'm not as experienced as I am in other areas with the jumping or the dressage. Is that felt really nice to me. That I'm not sure how good it actually was. Woo! Woo! We still have our moments, don't we, Pud? What's important with things like this is that it is nettles. What's important there is that although he spooked, and this is an area where I am proficient, I do know what I want to accomplish here. I did not block his movement with my reins. Yeah? Of course, it happened so quickly, maybe I couldn't have. But my hands more or less stayed where they were, and if anything, the reins went loose when he spooked. Although at the same time, up when you stop. Ooh, don't do that. The saddle did slip a little. Sorry, I used the saddle a little more than I maybe should have if I was a perfect rider. Which, as of yet, still working on that. Yeah. Okay, head up and walk. Good boy. He finds that very difficult. He finds it difficult to make the transitions whilst keeping his head elevated. Good boy, and forward. Good lad. Yeah, so this simple idea of if your horse spooks, let them, rather than trying to hold them still and not let them move, it's a difficult one. It's one of those tricky things. You want to control the movement. That's what this is all about, right? I want to be able to control the length of his stride, the position of his head, and he's going to get worried about things, and particularly when I'm asking so much of him, saying, keep your head here, lower your head, lift your head, bend your head, put your feet here, put your legs under, all these types of things. He's gonna be less sure of himself. Yeah, it's a jump. Are you okay with that? We might jump that later. Okay. Yeah, he's going to be more concerned by things, right? It's going to be a problem because I'm not allowing him the ability to look as much, because I'm saying, I position your head, so you can't position your head. Oh, you're so handsome. Look at you. You're so handsome. I realised I started turning him without a real thought of where I was going. This is why I have to set the 10-minute timer, because I would have started trotting. But my timer's not actually gone yet. Again, I love that you're taking that outside rain better today than you have been. I know, she's waving a bucket around to try and get a horse to come in. We've just, for anyone who's judging Maddie there, don't. We've just switched the horses from very bare summer paddocks to winter paddocks with the clocks changing. And yeah, I don't know whether Ebony's not going to catch today, but it wouldn't surprise me. That grass out there is so lush. Even Pudding was a little bit like, you know, I'm in ankle-high grass here, and you're going to take me in there and make me jump stuff. I don't know if that's exactly what I want to do with my life today. Let's come up a bit, bud. That's it. Yeah, it's amazing how long 10 minutes is when you set a timer to it. Again, I had a little worry about that. But instead of holding him, like let him bend out of the contact, right? I keep asking for what I was asking for, which is a slight lateral bend to soften that neck, relax that pole joint. There it is. Good boy. Yeah, very good. Pudding has what I would kind of think of as a show jumper's head carriage, which is not entirely a bad thing, right? I think we're very quick to say, well, this is right and this is wrong, and that's wrong. But he has what I'd call a show jumper's head carriage, where he likes to stick his nose way out and lock his neck. You see this a lot in show jumping horses, where they've been jumped around a lot of courses. It's not a bad thing, like I said, it's actually quite good for them. They balance themselves very well in that way. The problem with it is it locks the neck. The neck gets very tight. You can see him locking it a little bit there, and it tends to be against the rider's hand. So whilst it's good for them in show jumping in that they use it to balance themselves really well, it's not good for them long term in terms of carrying their body. This is going to be one of those really fascinating things that I'm going to come across when I start pushing him to jump a little bit higher in the show jumping situation. How much of a problem I'm going to have, and me and Zoe have even talked about it at length. You know, can you actually jump at the sort of height we're talking, you know, getting above 90? Can you jump that high without really picking up a contact? You know, because you can see the way I'm riding him here. You want to do a counter bend turn? Okay. He's stepping ahead already. One of the exercises we worked on was counter bend turns, which is just a way to help develop your horse's balance even further. Try not to lose that bend as we switch to this way. Good boy. I've lost what I was going to say. Oh yeah, you can see this contact here. It's a lovely soft contact. I'm asking him to hold his own head up. He's not pulling very hard on the reins at all, and I'm not pulling very hard with my hands. It's all fingertips, as opposed to, you know, using my arms really strongly. But at what point am I going to start to struggle? It's been a big question we've had. I'll do one more of those. I think our time is nearly up. Oh, there it goes. I had a feeling. Eps. But he's so handsome. How can you say no? In case you can hear Maddie was going, no, don't talk to Pudding. Good boy, Pud. He's like, I can hear that time's gone off. Good boy. Yeah, that was nice. It's a nice thing to finish on, wasn't it? And then now I find it hard. Let him drop now for a little bit. Pick up a trot. So yeah, it's been a big question that me and Zoe have had is, I know I can jump him almost bridleless over certain things. You know, I could just hold the string and jump him over these crosses, and it wouldn't be an issue. But it's going to be really fascinating when we start getting up to these bigger ones. You know, Tick was having me take a lot more contact than I'm used to. And I've got these two opposing experts. I have Leisure Ate telling me to self-carriage and to give more, and I have Tick saying be more consistent. Not be harder, but be more consistent with your contact. Don't let it drop. Because in the jumping, where I was trying to be soft, I was ending up dropping, which is terrible. And the way you notice that is you see the reins doing this sort of bounce. And so your horse can't trust your hand because you're inconsistent. And it's where do I balance these things out? It's going to be a real experience for me, because whilst in Western riding, you do everything in self-carriage more or less. You push the horse to move where you don't have the reins at all. You're basically bridleless and your horse is moving. Where does this come in with the English riding? We expect so much more from our horses than the Western riders, and that's not to say that what Western riders do is incredible with their horses. How to put it? This is very difficult to explain, because cutting is extremely physical. I feel like I'm stepping on eggshells and maybe should just shut up. But when I think of eventing compared to, say, cutting and reining is probably the closest thing the Western people have to eventing, as it is that multiple sport idea. You know, it's not just come on, lazy boy today. You have to cut the cow, you have to rope a little, you know, I probably need to stop talking, I'm thinking about way too many things. What I'm getting at is jumping, 140 and doing a relatively complicated dressage test and flying around a cross-country course, all within just a few days of each other, is so physically demanding. I had no concept as a Western rider, predominantly, someone who'd been taught through natural horsemanship and sort of more Western style training, just how tricky it was to develop a horse in the English fashion, with the English style. And I'm now really coming to appreciate the challenges you have when you take a horse jumping, you know, that I didn't really appreciate before. Sit up and forward. Good boy. Yeah, I didn't really have enough of an appreciation for just how difficult this is. And both sports are difficult, they're very different. They're very, very different in why they're difficult, and I guess for me it feels much more difficult to do what I'm doing here than it does to ride Western, because I've ridden in a Western saddle all my life. This feels easier, where I can imagine people going, riding bridleless and bareback and doing all those spinny low to the ground turns is way more difficult, where to me it feels actually kind of easy. But it's what you've learned to do. There's a good bud. How you doing down there, bud? Thanks. No, I don't think we're going to go into the 90s at a trot, but thanks for offering. A little bit more energy now as we're going to start to get actually doing some stuff, hey? That's it. Ready, bud? We haven't jumped in a little while. You know, it's exciting, huh? You know, I set these lines up on the ground. They were way easier from the ground. Good boy. I was a little behind you there. I was a little behind you there. Sorry, dude. What I'm happy with, though, is I didn't pull on him. And that is quite important. You know, I didn't block his jump. So whilst there are other things I get wrong, I feel like this is the thing that really fixed me in Pudding's jumping, is that although sometimes I'm not quite with him, I don't pull on him. Good boy. Well done for thinking both ways. It's very good. Very good, Pud. Yeah, although I'm not always with him, do that one more time, and I need to focus better, don't I? 3, 4, now, and go. I need you a little bit more forward through those, Pud, before we get into the big ones. Okay, I'll do that once more. As you can see, we've changed a little bit, hey, from where we were. Let's go, a little more forward. Good. 3, 2, 1, jump. Good boy, yeah, much better. Much better, Pud. And we'll come back down to a nice trot. That's it, good lad. Yeah, you have a little stretch and a chill. Hey, go freestyle for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so I hope, for those of you that haven't seen him for a while, you can see we've made some really good progress. We're certainly riding very differently, doing things very differently. I feel like I'm behind him now, as in he's doing super well, and damn, I got to catch up. Because this horse is very talented, and I am not nearly so talented. Okey dokes. Let's come into a few more jumps. He's like, I don't want to come into jumps. I'm quite enjoying just trotting around. I know, we've just got a few more. I'm not going to massively overdo it, because got a lot to do today, kiddo. Coming nice and deep here. And around. I know, it's a little bit tight. Don't die on me. Jesus. Oh, Pud, come here. What happened? Come here. What happened? Oh, funny boy. What happened there? You didn't see it coming at all. Oh, funny boy. Oh dear. Deary, deary me. So, I believe, I watched the video back, but I believe you just weren't paying any attention and jumped way off time and jumped way higher. Come on. No, you're not in any trouble. I know. No, you're not in any trouble. We'll do that again though, hey? Come on. We'll do that again. Come on. It's a risk of warming up soft, gentle. Come on. Is your horse isn't entirely there. You're supposed to trot in, canter out. I know, I was supposed to be with you as well. There's a two-part to that, wasn't there? Come on, let's do that again. Come on, do it again. No, you're not in any trouble. You're not in any trouble. But come on, let's wake up a bit. You know, we're a little bit sleepy to be doing such lovely big jumps. Hey? A little bit sleepy for all that, hey? You got it this time? You're locked on this time? Right, pay attention. That was better. Good boy. Atta boy. And again, it's one of those. I feel bad for the kid because he's so good. He's so talented. And I need to catch up. Right? Because a better rider would have been there with him through that. I'm getting there. I am improving a lot. I often find myself a little bit behind him. Let's do another one. Let's go on, we did at least 4 on the other ring. Got a bit more forward now, haven't you, which is good. That's it. Good boy. Really good. We'll do one more, hey? We'll do one more. That's it, one more. You got it, kiddo? Good boy. There it is, finished organised. That's it, very good. It's become one of my favourite tick sayings, finish organised. A little bit of a tendency to jump a few and then be a little lax isn't the right word. What's the right word, Pud? We sort of end on a sloppy note, right? Thanks, Pud. But I know. It's a shame about your human, isn't it? Fantastic. Yeah, big sigh. Okay, so we'll walk off a little bit, and we'll have a little look at these 90s and see if we can maybe jump this one stride bending line that we've got set up here, kiddo. Okay, and that'll be our finisher. So funny. Yeah, it can be one of the disadvantages jumping in a school where he feels very, very safe. Except for that spot there where the flappy banner is. It can be one of the disadvantages because he's almost too lazy and then he jumped really high. Double check that's still working. Last time I fell off it didn't work. It's good. Okie dokes. Well, should we have a look at these 90s? Shall we? And then we'll call it good for today, kiddo, hey? Ready, bud? We're going to get you a nice big canter going first, aren't we? That's better. Let's get a nice big striding canter going. Good. Very good. That's not really very forward though, is it? We're going to need more forward than that. There we go. There we go. Got some big jumps to do, kiddo. You can't be doing them sloppy. Okay. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5. Good boy. Very nice. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh. Sorry, bud. That was me. You did that fine. Yeah, you did. I guided you in badly. We're getting to that stage now, me and Pudding, where, and he's so talented. I need to just, give credit to the people who taught him how to jump, because they did such a good job teaching this horse the proper way to lift. But there comes a point, and this is where we're talking about how Western riding and English riding are both difficult. There's not an easy one, right? They're both tricky, but it's getting to that point where I need to stop messing up so much. I can't just rely on him. He covered for me there and made the jump, but a less experienced horse would have just slammed the brakes on and had me out the side door, and I was not in the best position for that. I was already over the jump. In my mind I was going to jump longer than was appropriate, and because he's a good boy, he covered for me. Didn't you, Pud? But yeah, I certainly couldn't have landed onto a bending line. I could have out of the first one. I jumped the first one really, really nicely, I felt like. Again, I'll have to watch the video back to really see whether it was as good as it felt. And I could have been and into the next one within a stride. But that one there, we were a mess. But it's fine, he covered for me, and I'm really pleased with him for that. So, yeah, let's have a look at some bending lines, kiddo, which was the thing I found the most difficult at Tick. When I jumped with Tick, it was that landing, staying organised, staying focused, the excitement of the jump kind of gets me, and then landing organised, coming into a bending line was the thing I found the most difficult, because I just get distracted. I'm just like, oh my god, I jumped! Isn't that awesome? And it's like, oh god, I'm supposed to be jumping another one. And so much of it is to do with keeping your focus up as we prepare for our talk at the Horsemanship Showcase on jumping. Yeah, I have to sort of get better at these things, for him as much as for my understanding too. Little give. Good boy, I know you. It's so tricky. He jumps and he's like, see, I've got this nice head carriage for jumping. And then I go, no, soften, because you need to be soft in the hand as well. It is going to be fascinating to watch the change with him. Anyway, let's try a bending line, kiddo. Let's try a bending line, see what we get. See if we can do it. That's a good canter to start off with right off the bat. Good boy. Very nice. We'll do one lap, a sort of nice rhythmical canter. We'll pick it up a little bit and then we'll come into that line. That's a boy. You think we got it? Part of a warrior? We totally got it, haven't we, bud? We totally got this. Hey? We totally got this. Coming to a 90. I'm already going to be looking for my line. Boy, yes. Really good. Really good. Oh, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Oh, awesome. Awesome. It's getting there. I'll leave this out for you and Ebbs, because it's the same sort of thing you want to do with her. Well, I'm really happy with that. I mean, we were not getting those it's not single stride, I should describe it. It's land, one stride, turn, one stride, jump. So it's landing, giving him a stride, picking him up, turning him on the next stride. He's only got one more stride before the jump. And it wasn't him that wasn't getting it, it was me that wasn't getting it. In case you're wondering, no pain. I landed a little bit on my arm. This carpet gallop is just fantastic for it. I've come off a couple times on this now and I am yet to feel any kind of injury. Attaboy. I think you might notice on the video he was a little hesitant coming into that 90. I think because on this one I sort of messed up a little bit and he was a bit like, ooh, I don't trust you as much. But still came in nice, still cleared it well, has ended all lovely and relaxed. And from, you know, barely jumping for weeks to then come in and be so willing, and for his contact work to be as nice as it was, I'm just really pleased with him. You're doing so well, aren't you, Pud? So we'll call that good for today. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos coming back. We're going to keep learning, aren't we? I'm going to learn to jump, and you're going to learn not to be worried about the world. Aren't you? Yeah, I guess that's everything. We'll see you in the next one.